must get on this one.
Run us over there, that's all before.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's alright. Just in time to ride.
That's what you need, really. Push out the extraneous detail.
That's right. Oh, I knew it was here. I could have put my rotovator in it. I could have dug all this up in an afternoon. I know now, just get my rotovator out.
Okay, lean over. That's fantastic. Oh, look at me now. Just put it to the camera. That's perfect. Okay, guys, this way. Absolute bastards.
How very dare they?
Oh.
A campaign over this land about including to get it established as a village green, which has been imposing the building of this youth club on this land, which of course we're not against in principle, but Brian will go into that afterwards. But as you'll know from the story of the Diggers, that Gerrard Winstanley and a number of people who was later became known as the Diggers went on to St George's Hill at Cobham near Weybridge in Surrey in 1649 and set up the first Diggers commune there, which lasted about 18 months. Basically what we're doing now is symbolically trying to reenact the digging and the planting that he did. If you want to help out here, but as long as we don't dig too much out, because I say we have got this issue about whether this is actually criminal damage or not. Seems ridiculous in a society we live in, you know, that this would be construed as vandalism or whatever. Because as far as we're concerned, this should be a public amenity, and there's no reason why, for example, a part of it couldn't be dedicated to a communal kitchen garden or something of that kind, what people of Wigan could actually, you know, freely partake of the herbs or whatever. Recently is actually from Wigan, so we thought we should mark this and possibly, hopefully as an annual event, we'll have a Diggers Festival, and if we can keep this field as it is, possibly even holding our festivals on this field. There's also been a suggestion that we might want to rename this field. It's currently called Mains Playing Fields, the Gerrard Winstanley Park or Field, whatever people think appropriate. So if we want to do that today, I don't know whether people think that's a good idea, but why not, say?
Come on, Brian. Brian, why don't we sell it on the internet?
Don't get carried away, folks. So yeah, we also thought that we're going to have a memorial to Gerrard. Maybe this might be a good spot to actually put it.
I'm going to be in 2 newspapers.
For those of you want to know a bit more about this field and the actual issue that's going on, Dave Whelan, who is owner of Wigan football team, he's got involved with this private-public partnership project, which wanted to turn half of this field into what they call state-of-the-art youth facility in the town, which of course is a big dazzle for everybody. Everyone thinks, wow, you know, £6.5 million project. And obviously we're not against new state-of-the-art facilities being established in the town. But I think the point some of us involved in the Diggers campaign, as far as this bit of land is concerned, is that it doesn't need to be built on this particular piece of land. This land previously owned by the council, which I think has just been transferred to the council, to this private-public partnership that's going to be running this scheme, was disposed of £31,000. Whereas in fact what we're doing is short-changing the young people of this borough, so that's a message we also wanted to make today. It seems to us it's been used quite some time in the public community, people walking their dogs, playing football, having picnics, You were born in Wigan around 42 years ago and received international recognition for your actions to assist commoners out of poverty and into a very worthwhile existence. We, the Wigan Diggers, consider this Mains land the home of modern socialism. It is where your first experiences of the difficulties of setting manorial property by townspeople catalysed ideas to overcome the injustice which you later applied as a leader of the Diggers movement in the south of England. Your words and actions remain an everlasting inspiration to Wiganers everywhere. We pay tribute by holding this first Wigan Diggers Festival, hoping it may develop into a successful annual event to honour your life.
My name's Stephen Hall, for those of you who don't know me. I'm chair of Lee Unite branch. I'm also a member of the Wigan Trades Council. I'm also a member of the Wigan Borough Green Socialists, who first came up with the idea of this festival about 5-6 weeks ago. So the fact that it's gone from an idea to events in such a short period of time, I think is a testimony to the efforts of all the people who've been involved in the team. I won't mention them all here because there's too many to mention, but a lot of the ones wearing the Diggers t-shirts are the people I'm referring to, who've put in a fantastic amount of effort to bring this event off today. I'd like to thank them first. So there's various events going on all day. The reason we're having this event, I'm actually from Atherton. I don't know, I've only recently just started doing work in the Wigan area, in Wigan itself, and one of the reasons this event, you could say, has not taken place earlier is nobody's acted on the fact that Gerrard Winstanley is from this town. We used to regularly walk to our meetings through the churchyard in Wigan and come up to this house called the Gerrard Winstanley House, which is very close to the Anvil pub. And I was asking my partner Claire over here, was saying, who is this Gerrard Winstanley character? And when we found out he was the leader of the Diggers, well, we did know about the Diggers, and it was like, wow, this guy come from Wigan. So we thought, bearing in mind that I'm an activist, I didn't know about this. We certainly found out that not many people in Wigan know about this either. Great socialist thinker who is even acknowledged on a statue in Moscow. So we thought we'd put this event on to help raise public awareness about Gerrard Winstanley as a great Wiganer, somebody who's acknowledged on a global scale for his actions and his writings. And we aim to set it up as an annual event of a broad nature. Anybody who's inspired by the Diggers, feel free to come along and be part of. And an enjoyable event at the time. So that's how it's come to this today. I hope you all enjoy it. We've got now we'll introduce Derek Winstanley, who is a relative of Gerrard, who's flown over from Illinois to open this. He's going to give you his own slant on this. He knows a great deal about Gerrard, and I'll pass it over to him now.
Get in there.
lot, Steve. It's great to be here, and I want to thank the organising committee and the sponsors for establishing this first, what I hope is going to be many, Wigan Diggers Festival. So I'm very pleased to be here. As Steve said, I live in America now. I've lived away from Wigan for 35 years, but it's still my hometown. I always come back here, and this is Wigan, and it always will be. As you can tell from my name, I am a Winstanley. I think we've got some other Winstanleys in the room. Keep the clan going. All the Winstanleys originally come from the district of Winstanley. If some of you are not from Wigan area, there's a district about 2.5 miles west of Wigan. There's a Winstanley Hall, which is being run down at the moment. But all the Winstanleys originally come from Winstanley, so there's no doubt, going back 1,000 years, we're all related. There's about 1,000 Winstanleys, I think, in the country at the moment, different families. Back in the 1600s, when Gerrard Winstanley was alive, I reckon, I've done some calculations, there were probably about 15 Winstanley families in Wigan, and probably a handful outside Wigan. So now we've got 1,000 Winstanleys. 400 years ago there were maybe 20, 25 Winstanleys. So if you go back 1,000 years, that's when we all started. So we're still part of the same family, even though it's difficult to draw specific links. Well, it's only taken, it's Gerrard Winstanley's 355th anniversary today of when he died. That's so special today. And it's 402 years ago next month when he was born. So it's only taken Wigan 400 years to give this guy some recognition. Like Steve says, you can go to Moscow if you want to see a memorial to him. There's an obelisk in Moscow. When Lenin took over, 1717, one of the first things he did. So what did I say? What did I say? Well, all these centuries I'm getting mixed up. 1917. I'm thinking. There was an obelisk that the Tsars had erected a few years earlier and put all the names of the Tsars on. So he scrubbed off all the names of the Tsars and put on all the key people found in socialism and communism. And of course at the top there's Karl Marx and Engels, and under that is Gerrard Winstanley. Yeah, so you've got to go to Moscow if you want to see a memorial for this guy. So I hope we can change that and set something up more permanent in Wigan. Just to show how poorly is recognised in Wigan, if you go on Wigan World website, there's a section there on famous Wiganers. They got Billy Boston and everybody, but he's not on there. He's not even recognised on the Wigan website. So I hope we can change that too. And there's two major history books of Wigan written in the 1880s. One by Rector Bridgman, who was the rector, lived in the rectory here, just walked past. And the other one by Sinclair, who was the librarian at Wigan. And these are incredible volumes documenting Wigan history. There's like 6 volumes. I've got a lot of information from those. Without those histories, we wouldn't know as much about Wigan, what it meant, how I interpreted what it meant to Gerrard Winstanley. But neither of those two key historians either mentioned Gerrard Winstanley. So we really want to get this guy back on the map and give him the recognition he deserves. So I'm not going to say any more now. I'll be talking a bit more detail about Gerrard Winstanley. And it is Winstanley, it's not Winstanley for anybody who's a foreigner. So I'll be talking more at 4 o'clock. But in the meantime, I declare the festival open and all enjoy yourself. Oh, I do want to say one thing before I go. Derek Winstanley, DW. I do want to thank the chairman of Wigan Latics and Warriors for naming the stadium after me.
Okay, well, we've got a couple of readers just come on and go. One of the things we're going to do during the course of today is we've got a number of people, and I think we're still looking for volunteers. If you want to volunteer to read one out, quotations from the works of Gerrard Winstanley. Just waiting, we've got two who should be ready now to speak. And as soon as they've done their bit, I say, in the back room, which you can see through there, we'll be showing the film Winstanley, an hour-and-a-half long film about the diggers in in Cobham in 1649, and outside there'll be various bits of entertainment, singing and a puppet show. So that's what's going to go on in the next period. When those things finish, we'll all be coming back into this area for the next thing, which offhand I can't remember what it is, but by the time we get there I'm sure we will know what it is. Alright, right, come on, your first reader. Who's our first reader? Is it you, Derek?
Yeah, you
right.
back up.
Right.
Who's number 2, Paul?
Not me, no, I'm 6. Well, I'm not 6, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. Hey. Get in there.
So the first reading is really an iteration of what's written on these Digger t-shirts. It says, "Action is the life of all, and if thou dost not act, thou dost nothing. I have writ, I have acted, I have peace." So translating that from medieval English into 21st century language, it's something like, if you sit around on your rear end all day and do nothing, then it just will be dear.
That is correct.
Are you next, Ian? Are you next, Ian?
Yeah. No, it's not me.
Who's number 2 on this? Brian, where are you?
Brian Lee.
Number 3, come on, who's number 3?
Stevie H.
Oh, is that me? No, I'll get up to this mark enough today. This is what a gem of Gerrard Winstanley. Justice is bought and sold. Nay, injustice is sometimes bought and sold for money. And it is the cause of all wars and oppressions. There. So that was a spot-on quote too. So we'll have those all through the day.
I'll do this one.
Better late than never.
Alright, go and do it.
Get in there.
This is the quote number 4. It says, "What is to prevent a movement?"
Yeah, speaking to like mate.
What is there to prevent a movement of civilized powers in the world towards a common ideal and assimilation? Stupidity, nothing but stupidity. A stupid brute, jealousy, aimless, unjustifiable. So what do you say?
Bravo.
Okay.
Alright, so